This is Open to Hope Radio, featuring Dr. Gloria Horsley and her daughter, Dr. Heidi Horsley, coming to you on behalf of the Open to Hope Foundation, dedicated to those who are looking for hope after loss.
Welcome to the Open to Hope Show in partnership with the Compassionate Friends. I'm your host, Dr. Heidi Horsley. We have a great person today that we are interviewing, and her name is Randi Ragan, and she will talk more about how we find hope after loss and how we can live mindfully and take care of ourselves. Randi is calling in from Los Angeles, and she is a holistic well-being expert, a green living entrepreneur, and is the founder of Green Bliss Echo Spa. For more than 20 years, Randi has led yoga and spiritual retreats. She is the author of a fabulous book called A Year of Living Mindfully. All her work strives to provide readers with ideas, tips, and inspiration for creating a mindful, sustainable life.
Good morning. Hi, Heidi. Thank you for having me.
I guess I want to start today, before we dive into your book, asking you how you got into the field of health and wellness.
Well, it was a long and circuitous journey, I think, like a lot of things that people do nowadays. And I think it was triggered when I was in my 20s. My mother passed from breast cancer, from complications of breast cancer when she was only 54.
Oh, wow.
So that put me in a tailspin. Not that it's easy for any age of life to lose a parent, but I think in your 20s, you're just starting to come into your own as an adult, ask questions about what your life is, who you want to be, the things you want to accomplish. And to suffer a loss like that is really traumatizing. And, my father was dealing with his own grief, and none of my friends that I knew at the time had experienced anything like that. I was one of the first to experience the death of a parent at a relatively young age. But what it did was just really propel me onto a path of seeking. And mostly it just kind of put me in touch with, how do I want to live my life, and what is the meaning of my own life, and where am I going with it? And it's hard when you're in the thick of something like that. And I can tell you from also having lost my father just 5 years ago, it was a different kind of loss. I was a mature woman. I have my own family. I have a daughter who's 15. He was an old man. He was almost 80. I still wasn't ready to lose him. But, what I can say after having gone through the loss of both of my parents under very different circumstances and different times in my life is that you really, I can tell everybody listening that the pain and the grief does not last forever. It feels like it's going to last forever, but it doesn't. And the feeling that you're just completely immersed in this sensation and these emotions and that they'll never change is understandable. But one of the things that helped me both times, the first time it was sort of blindly thrashing about and searching. The second time I sort of knew, and I had a little bit more life experience under my belt, was to focus on the things that I could do to help me feel connected to my own life and to the life outside my own world. That, the world keeps spinning, for better or for worse.
Right.
And in a way, that's kind of a good thing when you realize, I can take a walk and the birds are still singing and there's still beautiful things to look at and there are still kind people out there. There's music to still listen to.
It's important for people to know, like you're saying, the pain doesn't last forever. It doesn't mean we're going to forget. I think sometimes, for me, I tended to hold on to the pain a little longer than I needed to because I was afraid if I let go of the pain, I would let go of my brother and let go of the memories. And I still have the memories. And like you said, the pain is not there anymore. And, early on, it's scary to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to feel like this forever. Because early on, the pain can be pretty intense.
One of the things that happens when we're grieving is that we don't pay attention to ourselves. We get so outside of our mind and how we normally live our life and how we move through our days that we forget to eat. Definitely sleeplessness is a big problem. we forget to take care of ourselves in real fundamental ways, just exercising, taking walks, getting fresh air, and doing things that nurture our bodies and our physical selves is critical, because grief does impact your immune system.
And I've got to give a shout out to yoga. I love yoga. My mother got me into yoga because after my brother died 30 years ago, she started doing yoga. And, it's like do it and teach the world, show the world. So I started getting into yoga, and I love it. And I want to say to everybody out there, you don't have to be a yogi to do yoga. You can go and just do restorative yoga. And, sometimes they'll lay you in different poses, and it almost feels very relaxing. It feels like you're not even doing anything. And you will sleep better, and you will feel better, and you will start feeling little shifts in your energy and in your grief in positive directions.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we always say in yoga is that if you can breathe, you can do yoga.
I like that.
So you don't have to be super flexible. And the point of yoga, really, the heart of yoga, is that it's a spiritual path open to anybody. It's not a religion. So you can still practice the religion that you have in your life. But what yoga does is that it puts you in touch with the essence of you, of the divine nature that is within each of us. And the message always is, you are divine, your life is important, what you have to offer the world is important and meaningful and special and unique. The Four Seasons, I thought, was a really cool way to help people see how everything is connected, because the Four Seasons are, in essence, the reminder that we have of our human connection to nature and to something that is larger than ourselves. And I think any time that we start to feel stuck or without hope, it's because we cannot see this larger connection. And so connecting to nature continually gives us that reminder. The Four Seasons happen no matter what. The flowers will bloom, the leaves will fall off the trees, the winds will change, the temperature changes. All of these things are outside of our control, but they're beautiful reminders of the timelessness of our human connection to earth, to nature, and when we can connect to those things on an individual daily basis through what we choose to eat, how we choose to deal with our stress, how we choose to take care of our exercise routines, all of these things can have a part in a sort of an ebb and flow and a rhythm that I describe in the book as coming from, each of the qualities of the Four Seasons.
They've also shown research that shows if you download pictures of nature on your cell phone and look at them during the day, that can be an energy shift because, again, it connects you, like you're saying, Randi, with nature. So I love that idea.
Everything that I advocate in the book is about doing things on a little base, very tiny, very small basis, so that you don't have to feel like you need to make a huge change right away because you're not even going to feel like that. You're not in the mood. But if you can work one little change into your life on a daily basis, you'll start to notice the effects of that. You'll start to notice how it shifts you, and any kind of shift that you can notice when you're feeling in a stuck place is going to be a positive.
So, Randi, give us a few things that we can do on a daily basis to start shifting the way that we feel.
So I would say the first place is to notice how you get up and greet the day.
Oh, I like this.
Most of us, we have jobs to get to, so we rush and we kind of throw everything against the wall and hope that something lands that we can take out the door with us, that, we throw food in our face, we grab it, we stuff it in our purse, we eat in the car, we drink in the car, and I think if you can find 10 or 15 minutes extra, which means getting up about 10 or 15 minutes earlier, which means maybe going to bed on the other side of that a little bit earlier so that you feel a little more rested. Wake up a little bit earlier so that you have a little more space in your morning routine. And figure out a way to sit quietly and just meditate and just kind of clear your space in your head for your day. And that means not making lists of all the things you have to do. It just means clearing space.
I like this.
I work with affirmations a lot. So an affirmation might be, today is going to be a good day. or today I'm going to feel a little bit stronger. Today I'm going to feel a little bit less sad. Today I'm going to feel a little bit healthier. Whatever your affirmation is that you need.
And Randi, I love the affirmations because, for those out there that are thinking, oh, this is corny, I don't buy into this, you don't need to buy into it to have it work. What we put in our minds grows. And like Randi is saying, and you can read more of this in her book, if you get up and say, today is going to be a good day, and you say that to yourself and you keep saying that and focus on positive, you will start to feel better.
Well, they've shown that these create neural pathways in the brain, and, it really works. And if nothing else, just saying a positive thing and putting it out into the world, that's all you got to do. And you've done that, and then you can move on. And then you move into other changes like eating a healthier breakfast, maybe relying less on donuts and coffee and more on granola and fresh green juice. Maybe finding a way to take more of a walking entrance into work instead of elevators and escalators. Park further away, walk a little bit further. Little things like this can really profoundly shift larger parts of our lives. And again, when you're feeling stuck, it can have a really great effect of helping you to feel, okay, there is something else in my life that is not all about the sadness. There is something else. There is growth. There is positivity, there is optimism, and while you may not be able to grab onto it every single day at this point in your life, just seeing little glimpses of it is huge.
Can you leave our listeners with one piece of advice?
Think of your life as sacred. Every life is sacred, and everything that you do every day to manifest your sacred journey on this earth in the time that you have is important. So taking care of yourself, getting sleep, getting exercise, getting good nutrition, finding people you love, being around positive people, these are all important aspects. And all of them have to do with you first acknowledging that your life, your journey is sacred and special.
Wonderful. And Randi, how do people find you if they want to learn more about what you're talking about today?
I have a website, and it's my name, www.randiragan.com. That's Randi with an I, and Ragan, RAGAN.com. I've got a blog. I write weekly on different aspects of taking care of yourself and conscious well-being. I do workshops and retreats, and I give talks, and I've got my book. So there are a lot of ways to interact with me and engage with me, and I hope your readers will find something there that would be of value. I think they will. And I'd love to hear from your readers. I have a place on my website to write to me, so you can drop a note, and I answer everything.
And I thank you so much for being on the show today and for all this really, really valuable information about how we can live more mindfully and how we can really live our best life. Thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure, Heidi. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to close today with a great quote that was in Randi's book by a Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes destiny. And for all of those out there that have lost hope, please lean on ours until you find your own, and go to opentohope.com so that you can get support and information from those that have walked the walk and that are now talking the talk. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Open to Hope Radio, hosted by Drs. Gloria and Heidi Horsley. Like today's edition, all of our past programs are available on demand at opentohope.com, along with helpful articles, videos, resources, and links to help get you through the toughest time of your life. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and sign up for our monthly newsletter. Again, that's opentohope.com. Check it out today. Then be sure to stop by next Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time when we'll be posting another edition of Open to Hope Radio. Remember, Others have been where you are. They made it through, and you can too, as long as you're open to hope.